Honorable Vice President Shri Venkaiah Naidu garu, and the galaxy of erudition and state administration who have gathered here, especially on this heartwarming occasion of Civil Services Day, reckoned with engineers and introspective rededication to the cause of service to the nation and the people. Ladies and gentlemen, it is on this day, as exhausted by Sardar Patel, the civil servants of this country rejuvenate, resuscitate, and resonate their conscience to rededicate their bodies and souls for the great country and the public service in all times of turbulence and tranquility. It is on this day, all the civil servants are reminded of the patriotic passion of Sardar Patel to adhere to the principles of impartiality and incorruptibility, and to cultivate an esprit de corps, and to tread on the path of dharma, that is truth and justice. And it is on this day, the spirited services of the officers engaged in public administration are appreciated, evaluated, and rewarded by the Prime Minister for their immense contribution to this nation. And it is our good fortune and divine providence that we are blessed with the gracious presence of our Honorable Vice President today amongst us. I request our DG to welcome our Honorable Vice President with a sapling, please. And now, I request our esteemed Chief Guest, Honorable Vice President and our beloved Director General to light the lamp, to invoke the blessings of the God for the present future of the civil services and for the successful conduct of this program also. Now I request the Honorable Vice President to offer floral tributes in the commemoration of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, an embodiment of human virtues and articulated administration, our beloved Director General Shri Harpreet Singh IAS and Special Chief Secretary to Government of Telangana. On this pious occasion, sir, may I request you to come and address the gathering?
Respected Honorable Vice President of India, Shri Venkaiah Naidu garu. Other distinguished colleagues, it gives me a great pleasure to welcome the Honorable Vice President on this day. I would like to share with the Honorable Vice President that during his term of 5 years, I have always had opportunity to interact with him, firstly as Principal Secretary in the government, to the governor at the Raj Bhavan and at MCRHRD. The Honorable Vice President has always addressed every batch during his term. But you are specially lucky because this is the first time he is addressing on Civil Services Day. Let me tell you a bit about our colleagues, sir. We have 212 officer trainees from different batches, sir. We have officers from 2014 till 2020. Majority are from 2019 and 18 batch. 1/3 of them, sir, are IPS officers. Several of them are occupying important positions in the districts. 50 officers are from Indian Forest Service. Then we have officers from the railways, customs, income tax, defense accounts, postal service, postal and accounts, financial service, likewise about 17 services in all. This training program, we have really made them work very hard, sir, considering the immense responsibility which is cast on their shoulders. I can assure you, we have really ground them, sir, put their nose on the task. I hope it is out of appreciation, sir. Sir, we are very lucky to have such a competent, motivated, talented group of officers from all regions of India, sir. From north to deep south, from West Gujarat to Assam. The spirit of Indianness, the spirit of meritocracy, professionalism is thoroughly imbued in them, sir. It will be a pleasure, sir, and an honor for all of them to receive your message, your sagely advice on this important occasion about the challenges of India, because they are coming into a new India, sir. The India which we were born and which we have stewarded up to this is safely in their hands, and they have to be guided, sir. So we look forward to your sagely advice, sir, and I am again very, very grateful for you accepting our invitation and being the chief guest, sir. And I pray that God gives you higher positions so that you can serve our nation in higher capacity, sir. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much for those few but effective words, sir. And you have been the harbinger for this course, and the impetus given by you is really lauded by all the officer trainees also. Thank you so much on this. And now, this occasion filled with festive fervor, we have amongst us the renowned public leader with immense depth of knowledge, wisdom, service dedicated to the great country, a prolific writer and penchant speaker, Honorable Vice President Shri Venkaiah Naidu, to enlighten us on this significance day of Civil Services Day on nation and people at large. I humbly request our Honorable Vice President to share his wisdom and knowledge with the young officer trainees here.
Sri Harpreet Singh Ji, Director General of this prestigious MCRHRD Human Resource Development, Sri Benhar Mahesh Datta, Additional Director General, Srimati Anita Rajendra, Joint Director, and the trainees and the other officers who are all attending this program. Friends, I feel really happy whenever I meet youngsters. Wherever I go, I make it a point to have an interactive session or to have an opportunity to address the youngsters. This is part of my public life since years. But after becoming vice president, because of the constitutional protocol and all, there are some limitations. But still, in the last 5 years, I could engage with the youngsters in various institutions, and also centers of administration and knowledge and research of various sectors in various parts of India. Of course, this MCRHRD, this institute is nearer to me, dearer to me also, nearer to my house. Just a walkable distance, and also dearer to me because I find that good training is being offered by this institute to various trainees who are all being sent here. And also I have another happy aspect is that I come to MCRHRD Institute in the morning to play badminton also, to keep myself fit. I am now 72, but still I am able to take this tour of the entire country because of physical fitness. That is provided by some physical activity, and badminton is the most simplest, cheapest, easiest, lovely game. So I enjoy coming here and playing game with the trainees as well as with the trainers. This is something special about this institute for me. We are meeting at the confluence of two important events, making this occasion all the more important and contextual. We are celebrating 75th year of our independence, Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. We are celebrating it across the country. We are today observing Civil Services Day with the services backed by the legacy of about 165 years. This is an opportune occasion to reflect on the course of self-rule over the last 75 years, the state of governance in our country and the role of civil servants in the same. I would like to begin with the proposition that we have made several strides in different domains since our independence, but we still have miles to go. Undoubtedly, successive governments led by various parties and combinations, they have done their bit, and the bureaucrats who have been serving the government over these years, they also have done their bit. But we are a huge country, vast population, regional disparities, and also economic disparities, and also in certain places social disparities. So these challenges still remain. Percentage may be vary. We still have 20% or 18% illiterates in the country. It's a time to reflect, introspect. 75 years of independence. On one side, if you look at it, yes, very good progress has been made. Initially, it was only below 20%, now it has come to 80%. And then we also have around 20% poverty. Poverty is getting reduced, but still in a country which is developing faster, there are still 20% of the people who are below poverty line. Third, there are areas where there is gender discrimination even today. Discriminating between men and women. And we also have certain areas which is of much concern of a social discrimination, so-called upper caste, so-called lower caste. So these are some of the challenges. And the other challenge, of course, is the international challenge, climate change. But these important 4 challenges I have mentioned, they have to be taken seriously by all the concerned. And particularly when we are meeting for an occasion like this, it is time for us to introspect and understand the shortfalls, the shortcomings, and the challenges, and the opportunities that are also available. Challenges are increasing, opportunities are also increasing. Now you, young officers, the opportunities you have, and the youngsters who are studying, the opportunities they have are totally different from the opportunities we had during our young age. So we must utilize these opportunities, grab these opportunities. The world is open. India is being respected, recognized everywhere, in every sector. And we are also excelling. Wherever our boys and girls have gone to study or work, they excel. That is the specialty of this country. I always feel this land, this air, this water, this civilization has something special for everybody and everybody also. So you need to encourage that, and you need to recognize what is the talent and then upgrade their skill and encourage them. This should be the foremost agenda of the government and governance. And the vulnerable sections, they should be our top on the other agenda, that we should attend to them. Antyodaya, taking care of the last man in the queue. जो अंतिम पंक्ति में बैठे उनका उत्थान पहले होना चाहिए. मैं यहाँ जो अंतिम पंक्ति में बैठे उनके बारे में नहीं कह रहा हूँ. ये तो यहाँ अंतिम पंक्ति में तो प्रेस वाले बैठे. समाज में, द सोसाइटी, సమాజంలో అట్టడుగున ఉన్నంటి యొక్క సామాన్య పేద ప్రజానికం వాళ్ళ యొక్క శ్రేయస్సు మనం ముందుగా దృష్టిలో పెట్టుకోవాలి, పనిచేయాలి. ఫ్రెండ్స్, ది సివిల్ సర్వీసెస్, దే షుడ్ రిఫ్లెక్ట్ ఆన్ ద స్టేటస్ ఇన్ రెస్పెక్ట్ ఆఫ్ their origin, purpose and performance over the decades in the context of realizing the objectives of the freedom struggle. Indian Civil Service, ICS, officially known as the Imperial Civil Service, was set up under the Government of India Act 1858. It was meant to serve the interest of the colonial rulers. That was the purpose initially. With our independence, it became the Indian Administrative Service. While the ICS functioned in the context of exploitative nature of the colonial state, the IAS is to further the goals of the free Indian state propelled by the concept of welfare and development. Welfare and development. We need to have that two-pronged strategy. On one side, keep the welfare of the people. On the other side is development also. Simply welfare or populism, which is dominating in certain areas, is not going to help us. We have to balance it. And we must train and tune our people to focus on more development and also taking care of the potential that is there in everybody rather than making them to look for freebies or populistic announcements or pronouncements, whatever it is. This has to be understood by one and all, including the governments. While the IAS is the premier service among all the civil services, mandated primarily with the function of the coordination in respect of governance, each of the civil services is important with all the services together making the architecture of governance. It's not simply IAS or IPS or IRS. Various civil services, they are all equally important. The opinions, comments and concerns that I am going to refer to broadly are applicable to all the civil services, the context. When the former British Prime Minister, Lloyd George, referred to the ICS as the steel frame, he meant it to be an instrument of perpetuating the British Empire without much concern for India and Indians. The then prevailing thinking in London was that British Raj in India will fade away and disappear unless there is sound civil service to support it. This orientation of civil service had to change in one stroke with our freedom in 1947. Their mandate, objectives and goals were elaborated in the constitution that we have adopted in 1950. Civil servants as part of the executive constitute one of the three pillars of our democracy. Judiciary, legislature and also the administration. All that our constitution seeks to ensure is justice, liberty, equality and fraternity and the citizens leading a life of dignity, being entitled to certain fundamental rights. It is hence obvious that the civil service are required to further these noble constitutional objectives, which accordingly set the norms of governance in our country. This requires the civil servants not to consider themselves as above the people, as it's seen at present in certain areas, but instead they should work with and for the people. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, the architect of IAS, said to be the first. He said to the first batch of officers, and I quote, "Your predecessors were brought up in the traditions in which they kept themselves aloof from the common people. It will be your bounden duty to treat the common man in India as your own." This applies to all civil services who deal with different segments of the people in different ways. The civil services are envisaged as instruments to actualize the constitutional vision into reality. Despite their hard work and contribution over the decades, there are still strong perception that the civil services have not lived up to the expectation, and there is a compelling need for a makeover with the changing context and mounting challenges, as I explained. What is the civil services? Despite the best young minds being drawn to the civil services through difficult competitive exams, the functional ecosystem connives to dent their initial enthusiasm to change the world. Over the years, the civil servants lose certain amount of motivation. We are doing introspection. I am not trying to criticize anybody or any sector. As we are observing Civil Services Day, we should introspect, understand analyze. The civil servants lost certain amount of motivation. Let us understand some of the reasons. Recently there have been a state newspaper articles focusing on the state of civil services and how they have failed the nation. Dr. D. Subbarao, former IAS stalwart, former Reserve Bank governor, lamented that public perception of IAS today is that it is an elitist, self-serving status quo, perpetuating set of bureaucrats who are out of touch with the reality. Strong, harsh, but he made an analysis, he himself being one of the senior civil servants, who wallow in their privileges and social status and have lost courage of conviction to stand up for what is right. Stand up for what is right. We should remember every day before we go to bed whether we stood for the right things today. What I did is right. Is it in the interest of the country, state, society, people? This, everyone has to put that question to himself or herself and get answer and then move on. I have reasons to believe that this broadly applies to all civil services, not only to IAS or IPS. Executive consists of the political executive who has to win the mandate of the people. The political leadership has to go to the people every 5 years, sometimes even more often also. So there is an amount of accountability. But civil servants who are the continuing part without say in certain areas, of course, without any such need for a periodical legitimacy. There are certain serious issues with regard to ensuring the accountability of the permanent executive that makes the civil services. You are a permanent executive. Permanent means till your tenure is completed. It is said that the only examination that faces is at the time of initial recruitment and none thereafter. Continuous and meaningful performance evaluation is sadly lacking in our system. Continuation of the civil servants in services should be based on regular assessment of their contribution to the formulation and execution of the policies and programs through introduction of new ideas, initiatives and practices. I was a union minister for some time. I had the privilege to work as a legislator at a very young age, parliamentarian for more than 18 years, minister for rural development, minister for urban development, minister for parliamentary affairs, minister for information and broadcasting, and a few other subjects. But I had an occasion to see the performance of our senior officials. From the performance appraisal reports submitted to me, I was surprised to know that some of the officials were judged excellent, which was not duly reflected in the service delivery. Nobody like to write unpleasant things also. That is another problem. But you are making an assessment of his service or her service. This has to be kept in mind by the politicians or the minister or whoever is seniors. According to some veteran civil servants, the present system has a deeply flawed scheme of incentives and penalties which make the enthusiastic and sharp minds the cogs in the wheels of complacency and acquiescence, turning them lazy and cynical, and worse, making them lose their moral compass. Promotions with afflux of time gives no incentive to performance and skill upgradation. This is a serious concern and need to be fixed. Performance only should be incentivized and rewarded and not merely file pushing. My dear young officers, bureaucracy is all about keeping records in the form of files and taking all decisions on the files. You should remember that in every file there is a life. Life of an individual or a family or a community. It is the lives of such individuals that adds up to the life of our nation. Accordingly, every file you build and deal with has a bearing on the making of our nation. You need to be alive to this aspect. Instead of preferring to be indecisive, evasive, and deferring a decision, every civil servant has to be dynamic, initiative bearing, and problem solving. How to solve the problems, how to count the difficulties, problems. Some people have that weakness. But how to solve that problem? What are the ways within the framework? This calls for reorienting bureaucracy into meritocracy. Mediocrity should be disincentivized. We often hear some civil servants lamenting that but for the political interference, they could have done wonders. Dr. Subbarao recently said that blaming the politicians for the intellectual and moral decline of the civil servants is self-serving. He was right. It may be true in the case of certain politicians, but that cannot be an excuse for your non-performance. I can assure you all the politicians are wise and receptive to good suggestions if they are presented to them in a convincing manner, rational manner. This is because no minister would like to risk being punished for a wrongdoing or a bad decision. The growing nexus between political class and civil servants being widely referred to is a matter of deep concern. Civil servants need not take adversarial position. You are not an opposition party. They propose and we oppose. No, that is not the way to dispose. You have to bring to the notice of the concerned minister the rule position, the public interest according to your assessment, and finally let him take a decision. But you must be on record. You must have that political will added to the administrative skill. Then you can really bring a change. At the most, what the politician can do for you can transfer you to another place. I have the experience being in public life for years. There were shining examples. Many of the officers, they did not budge from their stated position. But they did not go out of the way also to fight with the government. They have recorded their opinion. We should keep this aspect in mind. If you are overruled, the concerned authority would be taken to task tomorrow, if you are on file. Political and permanent executive should work in tandem in a right manner. Political executive should definitely change. Foreseeing this problem of conflict between political and the permanent executive, Sardar Patelji said to the political class, and I quote, "I advise you to allow the services to open mouth freely. Today my secretary can write a note opposed to my views. I have given the freedom to my secretaries. I have told them, if you do not give your best opinion for the fear that it will be displeasure because of your minister, please then you had better to go." This is what Patelji said. I will bring new secretary. I will never be displeased over frank expression or opinion. Of course, that was Sardar Patel. Or not Sardar Patel. But at the same time, you will have the satisfaction that you have fulfilled your responsibility. So my advice, whenever there is a problem, some people met me also. They told me, sir, what can we do? Please give us some advice. I said, follow the constitution, follow the conscience, if you have one. Nothing else is required. The political executive has to take these words of wisdom of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel seriously. All that the officials has to do is to show up their character and be on the right side of the law, not on the right side of the minister or the government, right side of the law. If not, you will be conceding ground to your political masters from which neither of you will benefit. Neither of you. Neither the minister is going to benefit nor you. On the contrary, the country and the people will suffer that much. So I advise you to strictly stand up to the right. From my own experience, I can tell you that yes, sir types, some people have this, for anything they say yes, sir, are not respected in the long run. While speakers of truth, they are appreciated. My dear civil servants and youngsters, these days we are hearing the concerns being voiced over the state of finances in several states, growing mismatch between the needs of welfare states and that of long-term development. I am told that the revenues of some states are not enough even to run the administration, and borrowings are being increasingly resorted to extend freebies and to the utter neglect of growth concerns and asset creation. At the end of the day, decision is with the minister, with the government, with the party. But you will be failing in your responsibility if you do not bring to the notice of the concern the actual reality with a caution. This should be done. And it's not sufficient that you do it after your retirement. What is the purpose of after your retirement saying this is bad and all? You are keeping silence at the time was bad. And you gave nod to the bad. This has to be understood by one and all. Senior civil servants in particular have to shoulder the responsibility of enabling such harmonious development by being frank and honest to the political executive. The task of assisting the political executive with the right inputs for right decisions making requires civil servants to be good in communication, marshalling the required facts and the scenarios and presenting them in a rational manner and if required in writing. Traits of good civil servant. I am aware of the constraints of challenges that civil servants face in the prevailing functional ecosystem. Frequent transfers do not permit internal specialization. Hand-picked officials are given the plum post in certain cases so that they toe the line of the political executive. Rising expectations of people, coupled with their impatience, changed socio-economic scenarios, rapid technological advances, and rising public scrutiny through RTI activism and civil society, growing interconnectedness globally bring along new complexities and challenges. You are under pressure all the time to deliver, and that too quickly. To rise to this daunting challenge, civil servants should evolve continuously by acquiring necessary skills and domains of knowledge. You need not be masters of everything, but you should be good enough to understand the larger issues and coordinate with all the concerned for resolving the challenging situation. You should develop certain level of professionalism. To be able to do so, civil servants should constantly keep evolving at the personal level by cultivating equanimity, calmness of mind, moderation, knowledge of the changes in the society, and self-confidence, empathy, and skill upgradation. This is a continuous process. You should enable the best out of you to express itself and seriously challenge. All that you need to inculcate is courage, character, capacity, compassion, camaraderie, teamwork, and communication. Skills to do justice to your responsibilities. You should focus on finding an effective support system of friends and family that you can retain your sense of purpose. Regular physical exercise is a must. If you are physically fit, then you will be mentally alert. Nowadays, laziness is creeping. If you start becoming lazy, then you will become crazy. This has to be understood by one and all. Be it yoga, meditation, walking, playing, or any activity of your choice. I am not giving you any code. Then also another equally important after this recent COVID challenge is healthy eating. You will be surprised the Vice President of India is telling us about eating. I am not going to prescribe any eating code, this code or that code. Whatever you want to eat, eat. But eat cooked food. And my advice is traditional food. Time tested. Indian food is time tested for thousands of years. Our forefathers, they have experienced everything. What season, with what reason you need to eat or not to eat. But unfortunately, now our youngsters are being carried away by this Western fashion and started eating junk food. Junk food. These foods are no good for us because they do not suit our conditions. Pizzas and burgers may be good to them because of their weather conditions. But for us, we need to eat good cooked Indian food. Don't be carried away by this. But nowadays, branding, advertisement, and some icon coming and saying that this is good, that is good, and all. That may be good for him. We should understand what is good for us. And the best advice is by grandfather, grandmother, who got that wisdom from their grandfather and grandmother. It's time tested. But as I told you, the children name chicken 65. Fellow is not even 25. He want to eat 65. Manchuria names. Manchuria, Bulgaria, Somalia, why? When you have a great Himalaya here in India, I am just saying it in a lighter vein. Our food, cooked food, one of the reasons, if you analyze, the rural people are not much affected by COVID. Hard working, the good amount of food they eat, whatever little they have. And urban area, one is you are not exposed to sun. I am not talking about your sun. And we are fortunate that we have sun rays. I was sometime moving in London, that driver told me, "Good morning, sir." I said, "Yes, namaste." He said, "Sir, today is a sunny day." I said, "Is it your son's birthday?" He said, "No, sir, sunny day." Then I told him, "Poor fellow, India, 365 days are sunny days." But we are not taking advantage of the sun rays, the air, the water, the soil, the nature. That's why my advice to everybody is love and live with the nature. Nature, culture, together for better future. That has to be understood by all. We are going against the nature, destroying the nature, and getting destroyed ourselves. This has to be understood by not for IAS, IPS, IRS or other officers, for all, for ordinary citizens also. My dear youngsters, the Many challenges are awaiting you. Many opportunities are also there. Grab those opportunities. Face those challenges with conviction and courage. And then build a strong character and imprint in position whatever is given to you, so that you will live in the memory of the people wherever you serve. This is my advice to all the youngsters. Idealism. I'm not talking of ideology. Advaniji used to tell us when I was in politics, of course I'm no more in politics now. He used to say, ideal behavior is more important than ideology. Behavior, your conduct, your receptiveness, and the alertness. So be always smart. Smart, I'm not talking about hat, boot, suit, your dress and all, that is your choice. Be smart in your outlook. Receptive. When people come, you be serious and then you start doing something. People think that this man himself is having problems. Where is the question of, he will not be able to pour his heart. So you have to be receptive. And then be open-minded. Don't brush him aside, because they are our masters, the common people. And you should also practice, promote, propagate the local language. This is my advice to all. I have been advising at the national level also. Slowly, administration should be in the people's language. People's language. What for this communication? To communicate with the people. People do not know English, and you are sending orders, gadget notifications all in English. In a village, I come from a village, the rural areas, even in urban area, 20% is illiterate, that's a different matter. But how many people know English? I am not against English, learn English, no problem. But first, learn your mother tongue. Speak in your mother tongue. The weakness in our children, our parents also, family also, Babu, please say, Mummy, Mummy, Daddy. What is this Mummy, Daddy, BD, Jadi, KD business? I don't know what that is. Ma, say Ma, it comes from your heart. Amma, Mummy comes from your mouth, lips. Ma comes from your heart. I'm not trying to mock anybody. It's a fact. Fact of that. Britishers, because they want to perpetuate their rule, they forced us to learn their language, abandon our languages and our culture. You see the colonial rulers, wherever they have set in, they try to destroy that local language, try to destroy that local civilization and perpetuate their this thing. We are now free India, independent India. Our education system has to be reoriented. The greatness of our nation, our civilization, our forefathers who have fought for the country, gave their life, they should be prominent in our history books, not Robert Clive, Alexander the Great. This has to be clearly changed. It is not in our hands, I know that, but people who are responsible at the helm of affairs, they should think in the direction. I am happy. The new education policy, NEP, is moving in that direction. And everybody concerned should seriously follow it. People, character, joint character, administrator, all of them, they must be able to communicate with the local language. And they can have translation. In Parliament, after I became chairman, I improved upon the system. Now people can speak in 22 languages. There is simultaneous translation. Otherwise, because nobody will say, sir, I don't know English and all. They will also be nodding their head because there is no other way. And now with the new technology, with all this, there can be simultaneous translation. Some people told me, sir, yes sir, okay sir, the order will be in English and a copy will be served in their mother tongue. I said, order has to be in mother tongue. Copy has to be in English or other language. Why this extra love? Mother tongue is like your eyesight. The other foreign language is like your spectacles. If you have eyesight, spectacles will work. If you don't have eyesight, Then if you wear your Ray-Ban glasses, Zuban se kuch aayega nahi. This has to be understood by one and all. Promote the mother tongue. Learn as many languages as possible. I can see many of the civil servants that are posted to different states. In no loss of time, they try to grasp the local language and try to speak to the people. Yes, that should be the way forward. It is part of your duty. And not only this, education. Up to a particular beginning, high school, must be in mother tongue. Later, you can have. Otherwise, if you start with the other language, other medium, boy has to understand the language first and then understand the subject. It's a double, extra burden. This is another important aspect that has to be changed. For that mindset of the parents. Somebody told me recently, sir, your idea is good, sir, but will not have future, sir. I said, who told you future? Did you meet any astrologers? He said, no, sir, we cannot go up. I said, what up? Then I told him, I have talked to God recently. He assured me there is no question of any language bar. Whoever's time is expired, they will be automatically called here. This is what God told me. He was saying, sir, mazak udara, you are speaking very lightly. I am asking for going up in life. I said, going up. I understood. Even initially I understood, but to make him understand this, I said it in a jocular manner. I said, who is the President of India now? Ramnath Kovindji. He studied in mother tongue, initially. Dr. Kalam wrote that he had his early education in his mother tongue. Who is the Vice President? Myself. I come from a rural area. I used to walk at 5 kilometers a day to go to school. Studied Telugu medium. Who is the Prime Minister? Prime Minister did not even visit any convent. But he is one of the most popular Prime Ministers of the world, as per the indications that are coming. And who is the Chief Justice of India? Chief Justice of India recently said that he had his early education in mother tongue. So President, Vice President, Prime Minister, Chief Justice, if all these people could reach here by studying in mother tongue, why should anybody have that hesitation? But at the same time, with the changing situation and world is open, you must try to learn as many languages, English, including English, no problem. Why English? Learn Chinese also, Spanish also, Urdu also, Persian also, no problem at all. But first remember mother tongue, Amma Bhasha, we got as mother's language, which has come from mother's womb. So the officials particularly, I am insisting, they should practice speaking in mother tongue so that people will be able to understand and communicate. The Prime Minister gave a 3-line mantra, Sri Narendra Bhai Modi. He said, reform, perform and transform. Transformation of the system. For the transformation of the lives of the people. That is very important. So what are the new ideas? What are the new experiments? Read as much as you can. Learn as much as you can. And then use it. For that reforms are needed. And you know the reforms are having a positive effect. Initially there was resistance in India. But now we are seeing the benefits of reforms. In every sector. Reaching out the people. Opening bank account. कुछ लोगों ने मजाक उड़ाया, पैसा ही नहीं है तो अकाउंट खोलने में मजाक, ये क्या मतलब क्या है? But now you see everybody want to have a bank account. Husband separately, wife also separately, because the money comes separately. How many crores of bank accounts have been opened in no loss of time? Same time. No extra incentive was given. Direct benefit transfer, direct. No need, there should be no need to stand in queue, waiting in queue, standing in queue, going and meeting and greeting and shaking hand and doing something in between hand. There should not be any scope for that. Direct delivery. I insist on delivery mechanism. Delivery, that is key for the success of our system, our initiatives, our development agenda. Worldwide, people are now looking to DBT. direct benefit transfer, without dilution, without deviation. Dilution and deviation. This is an improvement. Similarly, there are a lot of improvements that have come in the country, in various parts of the world. So try to know them and then pass it on to the people. Ultimately, the aim of reform is to make the people's life comfortable and happy. Happiness. Happiness is very important. People should live in peace, because peace is the prerequisite for progress. If you have tension, you cannot pay attention and have retention of that ideas. So for that, you must have passion for reforms. So have the passion to serve the nation and better the lives of the people. That is my advice to you all. Thank you very much. Namaskar. Jai Hind.
Sir, we extend our gratitude for having embraced Marichana Reddy so fondly and dearly. And, fortunate is the Institute and blessed are our OTs for having witnessed and heard the talk suffused with wit and grit, and of course with the signature style of alliterations and rhythm of rhyme. And thank you so much, sir, for prodding our officer trainees towards the idealism and culture, mother tongue, and of course ultimately towards the public peace, interest and public welfare. ఈ సివిల్ సర్వీసెస్ డే రోజున మా ఆఫీసర్ ట్రైనీస్ అందరికీ దిశానిర్దేశం చేసినందుకు మీకు కృతజ్ఞతలు తెలుపుకుంటూ, సార్ we would like to submit and inform you that this foundation course is a conglomeration of varied activities and events, and we are glad that you have given your consent to distribute some prizes to the medal winners and the certificate winners of DGs. Sir, may I request you to please assume the center stage to distribute some medals and prizes. So first I would like to announce the dramatic talents of officer trainees have been showcased through AK Sinha One Act Play. The best AK Sinha Memorial Trophy for the best One Act Play goes to two plays, that is Paiband and Satya. May I request Shri Kshiti Saxena, Shri Pratyush Kumar Pandey, Shri Ram Sundar to receive the trophy from the dignitaries. Vijay Niranjan Memorial Trophy for Best Script in AK Sinha Play, title Paiband and Biryani, Sri Kshiti Saxena and Sri Nidhi Raj. Dr. Sanjeev Rao Memorial Trophy for Best Actor in AK Sinha Play, Shri Nidhi Raj P again. A trophy, gold medal and certificate for Nidhi Raj. Dr. Sanjeev Rao Memorial Trophy for Best Actress of AK Sinha Play, Kasturi Prashant Sule. A trophy and gold medal and certificate for you. Director General's Gold Medal for Best Director in AK Sinha Play, Shri Kshitiraj Tavaraj. Trophy, Gold Medal and certificate. Tavaraj. Best performance in physical training, Shri Siddharth of IPS, first prize, gold medal and certificate. And the second prize for PT is shared by Shubham Arya and Nityanand Jha. A certificate and silver medal for both of you. And third prize is again shared by Faisal Khan and Ram Sundar. Bronze medal and certificates. Go, go, go. Take anything, we'll change. Best performance in physical training by women, first prize goes to Bhavna Gupta. Gold medal and certificate for you, ma'am. Second prize is grabbed by Miss Ilma Afroz, silver medal and certificate for you. Nisha Kumari, third prize, bronze medal and a certificate. So we have conducted essay writing competitions on communal harmony, human rights and essays on human development also. Now may I request Shri Daripalli Ramesh, who grabbed the first prize for communal harmony essay, 10,000 rupees cash prize, gold medal and a certificate. Second position is shared by Abhimanyu and Rahul Gag, 3,000 each, a certificate and a silver medal. Third position is shared by Manish Kumar Verma and Jagdish Bangla. 2,000 each, bronze medal and a certificate. Communal harmony. And that's it. Last. And best essay on human rights, Sarvesh Panwa, first prize, 1,000 rupees gold medal and certificate. Come first. Silver medal to Prashant Mishra. Bronze medal and certificate to Shri Lalit Kumar Vimal. Lalit Kumar. Best Essay on Science and Human Development. First position to Mayank Gupta, gold medal. Mayank. Second, Sachin Bansal, silver medal and certificate. Third position is Sudarshan Gopinath Jadhav, bronze medal and certificate. Memento, memento, sir, the memento. Come, come. Yeah. Sir, as a token of respect for your presence today amongst us, I request our DG to present a memento and shawl to our Honorable Vice President. Sir, no medal for you, sir. I request you to be seated, sir. Now I request our course director, Srimati Divya Parmar, to give words of thanks.
Good afternoon to all. Honorable Vice President, respected DG sir, ADG sir, JDG ma'am and other dignitaries, on behalf of the MCRHRD Institute and the officer trainees of the Special Foundation Course 2022, I extend words of thanks to the Honorable Vice President for taking time out of his busy schedule and addressing our officers. I thank you, sir, for felicitating our officers, a special moment for them indeed. It is a privilege for all of us to have you here. I also thank DG sir for his constant guidance and ADG sir and JDG ma'am for their support. Special thanks to our additional CD, Mrs. Madhvi, for smooth conduct of the ceremony, and the FC Secretariat and support staff of facilities for their cooperation. We wish and look ahead to future sessions with you, sir, and hope you will be gracing the Institute with your presence in the future too. Thank you to one and all.
Thank you, Divya. Now let's conclude the program by rising for National Anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता।